Hello and welcome. Hope you're having a lovely day. Just going to try and find us now. There we are. Oh, there we go. Volume down. Live chat on. All ready and waiting for you. Just a few moments early. Hi, Rachel. Good afternoon, Moira. Welcome. Well done. Hi, Lou. I'm very well, thank you. Hi, Ali. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. Hi, Freddie. Trina, hi. Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Can you believe it's Monday already? This weekend's just flown by. I think we've just had so much fun. It's just been amazing. Recovered? I wouldn't say quite recovered just yet. I'm working on it. I think it's going to take me a few days to get my kit sorted back to where it belongs. I took quite a bit with me. So I've done some this morning. Hopefully it won't take too long. It's sorting all the pencils back out into order. Thank you. Well, welcome everybody. It is a fabulous shop. I've never seen another shop anywhere near as beautiful. And it's not just the crafting areas, you know, there's lots of gifts and homeware, and it's just I got quite emotional walking around. So I hope one day you all get the chance to go and visit. Out of this world it is, out of this world. Class. It's a class act. And of course it's in a beautiful area. And lots of fabulous people work there. They really are. So, this is what we're going to make today. And this is called Time to Come Home. Una, the master fairy, has been sent to fetch Pris, who has just found the delights of swinging in his spring garden. But it's time for him to come home, do some of his chores. So let's make it. I've got to put that somewhere where I can see it. Multifarious card, and it is. Let me have a measure for you. It's just short of 6 inches square, which makes it, I reckon, around 15. Yeah, 15 centimeters square. That is. Oh, welcome, Anne. I'm glad you made it. So let's get on. It's lovely to have you here. We're going to start with the vine branch. I absolutely adore this. It has so many uses. And I think the whole thing of today's make is we're going to be mixing the really, really old stamps with some really, really new stamps, like the brand new stamps. I don't know of another company where you can blend the stamps quite as well as you can Lavinia stamps. There's just something really magical and thoughtful about the way Tracy designs her images, and they do work beautifully together. So I'm going to pop the branch about there, I think. Hi Ruth, hi Sylvia. Marie, hi, welcome. Hi, Helen. Oh, it's so nice to see you here. Hi, Michelle. Look at that. The detail, again, is second to none, in my opinion. And I know there's quite a few out there that share my opinion, which is lovely. It's great when people agree, isn't it? So next, whilst we've got the black, so we're stamping in permanent ink, and this is Fine Clair. And we're going to ink up Una. Now Una's been around a little while now. Don't know exactly how long. I've started writing the dates of the release on my stamps so I can see how old they are. Because it's nice to know. And I'm going to pop Una on that branch. I want the feet to be on it and a hand to be on it. I don't want it floating. Hi Lynn, no problem. Enjoy your shopping. Hi Ruth. Hi Sophia. There. That's Una. And all I do to clean my stamps is water and just a soft cloth and gently just rub over. I don't scrub. And the next thing we need is the swing, the new swing. So a very new stamp from the new release, the Dreamatorium collection. Wonder how many trees we can hang this from. I bet it's few. I'm going to pop that. What do you think about there? Just hold it on there a second. There. It's good to know that all the fairies and all their friends have little jobs to do. It's not just us that go to work, you know. It is our Pris, another brand new stamp. I'm going to pop him on the swing. And I've done it just a little low and I don't want to chop anything off. So I might have to put a cushion under his bottom. There. I'll put him a little cushion on. We can do that. I'm sure he won't mind. Right, so that's our main stamping. So now I'm going to add some of the background before I start putting in the detailed stamping. So we know where we are now, we know what we're doing. And I've got beautiful Lemon Drop, one of the new inks, and a gentle brush to load that up. Just test it. Yeah. And then I'm going to start very gently just around the edge, using the very, very tip of the brush and putting absolutely no weight on that whatsoever. Oh, wonderful. You're going to love them, Agif. They are stunning. So we're going to have a little bit of a sunset. And I'm going to follow the Lemon Drop with some soft Signet. I love this colour. I really do. It's darker than you might think. So test it first. So again, using the tip of the brush, and we'll add a little more of that. Hi Adele, welcome. Just slowly building that colour to how we want it. I'm going to add a little, pop the lid on, a little russet orange, again still in the elements. Just blending those colours as we go. And we can strengthen them when we need to. But now I want to get some grounding whilst we're working our way down there. So I'm going to start with green sleeves. Hi Trudy. Hi Lynn. Welcome. The pale colour first. See, I love how that green blends in. And then we're going to move over to pixie green. Now this is really dark. I'm going to start on the corners. And we can revisit this colour after we've finished our stamping. But it's nice to get a base layer down first. And then all I do to blend that is I go back to green sleeves. And again, just go over the top. And you can see that immediately softens off that green beautifully. So we're going to do that and build up these colours a little stronger now. I like to get the first colours down and then I can blend them through. So we're going back with the russet orange. It blends so beautifully, so very beautifully. And I'm going back in with the lemon drops too. Leaving just a section bright and white. And then to finish that background out. Hi Rob, I'm going to add some spun candy. It'll all be worth the wait, I promise, your new stamps. I'm sure you've noticed by now everybody's absolutely loving them. So a nice warm layer that serves two purposes. This will make the flowers look like they go a long way back, but it also adds to that beautiful sunset colour. There we go. We'll have a clean piece so we can see what we're doing. Pop them out of the way for a moment or two. Make some space for our beautiful stamps. So I'm going to start with the silkweed hops, and I'm going to decorate the swing vines with this. And I'm going to use avocado for this. I'm going to take just that little bit of stalk off, just for the length that I need. There's one. We'll turn that round and pop on the smaller one the other side. Now this one, you can leave that stalk on if you wish. You've got space for that now. I'm going to pop that about there. Lovely. Again, another spritz with water and a wipe. That's all they ever need. Okay, so let's build up the flowers. Now this is probably one of the oldest flowers I have, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's the little bluebell, and I think it's LAV 002. That shows how early this is. Ooh, all my paperwork's just fell over at the back here. Never mind. So I'm going to use two colours. Avocado on the bottom. And it's a bluebell, so I've got bluebell. And these are permanent inks. Nice and juicy. So we need a couple of these round and about. And don't forget your second generation too. Same again. And we'll repeat this just whilst we build up our background. There. So now I'm going to give us a dark green oasis just to strengthen up that greenery a little. Blue. This will bring that plant forward. So that one stands out a little more because it's a little darker. Ooh, look at that, gone straight over the flowers. I'm busy looking at the card and inking up at the same time. What number is the bluebell? I think it's LAV 002. I'll double check for you in a second, Rob. Look at that. Even a third generation works. I wonder if we can do a tiny bit of a fourth. Yay! I think a couple more. and then we'll swap flowers. Thanks, Chris. Look at that, keep going. That blue's a giver. Just keeps giving. And what we're moving over to now, another really old stamp, not quite as old, but another old one all the same. Let me find the number for you. I have to look it up on the packets. The lavender is 093. So again, an early stamp. Here it is. And I'm going to ink it up to start off with. Same again. So we're starting with the avocado. And because we're doing a paler one, I'm going to use a little hawthorn rose. Ooh, nearly dropped it on there. Not that it would matter really. Not really, really. Oh, can't get the lid off. Sometimes the suction's really strong. Another hawthorn rose one, and we'll pop that one this side. Now I'm going to up the colour on this one up again. So green oasis. And the colour I'm going to use this time is the lilac bloom. I will be adding to these colours in a while. I'm on this side, I think. There. Quite a lovely little garden he's got going on there. And I'm going to finish that off with some dill. Dill makes fabulous grass. So we can actually, if we just ink up the tips and pop that under his feet. Look at that. Fabulous little bit of grass. And then we can use some more just to fill in any areas we think needs a little more greenery. It's nice to stack and build it. It is a lovely little stamp. It's so useful. Gosh, it really is. I'm going to change colour to the avocado and move some a little further up the card. Again, in the background, I'll use the second generation just to add a little more. We can even put a little behind him. Just a tiny tap. Then our final stamp of the day, before we start colouring, is the flower stamp, the mini flower stamp. Another one that's been around a while. LAV 256. It's amazing that they all mix and match. Like I said earlier, it's something Tracy does so well, and I've never seen another company doing anything similar. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blossom on our tree. It's just starting to come out here, I've noticed. Very beautiful. There, one more I think. Perfect. So we can put those inks away, the stamps away. I've got my pixie green again. I'm just going to richen that up. Thank you, Agith. Bless you. And then we're going to darken this corner and the floor just a little further. Changes the lighting in the card quite dramatically. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now I've got a pile of pencils. It's fair to say, quite a few. They're Mondelez watercolour pencils, and like I say, quite an array of colours. I'm going to start with some brown, so I've got a really pale pencil, a mid and a dark, and we can start adding a little bit of colour. We need to add a cushion too to our picture. You can see where it dents down, look, bless him. That's better. He's not floating quite so much now. A nice medium and a pale. I'm going to use down on the string or the vines that's holding him there. It is a beautiful little swing, and while we've got these colours out, we can start colouring our branch. So this is a nice pale colour for the top. Nice midway. Just blend them in. They do blend so beautifully, these pencils, even without the water. And then we can turn to our dark brown, just to catch underneath. That branch, and anywhere we see we need a little shading. I wouldn't worry too much, ladies. But thank you. Thank you for caring. What's going on with what? I don't know what's going on. Right, so again, we'll start with the pale. Move to a medium. Thank you, Aggie. Bless your heart. I love your work too. It's beautiful. And then we've got the dark. Finally, on the vine. Well, there's the Branston. And that was number 41, 31 and 33. You can use whatever colours you feel suit you best. So, red. I'm going to add a bit more colour to some of these flowers. Just a little. But it does make a difference. It really makes them pop. Doesn't it? It brings it to life. I think you start adding colour. And it's these little individual touches that makes it your card. Excuse me, your artwork. Look at the difference that makes. Brings that blossom alive. And I've got some purple now. And this is number 160. Some of them are a little tricky to see. So now I can add a little bit of shade. Onto our lavender. And I think whilst the card's that way round, we'll add some blue to our bluebells. And this is number 57. So I've gone paler this time to add some shape. Now hopefully you can see the difference that has made. So you don't always have to go darker. Chris, have you tried, you can get some rubber bits that slide onto your pencil that make them a little thicker and a little softer to hold. Maybe they would help. Oh, bless. If I lived closer, I'd come and help. Strengthen that one a little. And this one, I think, too. And you need to buy lots, one for each. Then you don't have to move them once they're on. That'd be grand. There. We need some more shape to his cushion, I think. That's a little better. And we can add a little more green to our hops. I think they're really good. I think you'll find they'll help lots. Very nice they are. Yeah. I'm actually going to use this green to dress Pris. His little green jacket. Maybe even green boots. You can use these as highlights. I'm going to go back with that paler pencil to put some soft highlights on. Not so in your face. So his leg, I want his knee. His knee's going to be about there, I believe. There. We can add some more highlights soon. So I'm going in with the black to help deepen the areas around. And it does make a difference. You'd probably think it wouldn't, but it really does. Now don't press too hard, otherwise you're going to fill the nape of the paper and then you won't get any other colour on there. And I do want to shade Una just a little, and by that little pale shading you can actually see her arms in front of her leg. Just a little softer. And just blend that through to the black. Hopefully you can see that shaping. Oh, bless. So we've got the wings to do. I think if we go, I'm going to go yellow, orange, red on this one. No, yellow, orange, purple. Different from the last one. So I'm going to start with the yellow on the inside. She's got beautiful dragonfly wings. Have you noticed the different fairies have different shaped wings? Beautiful there. And go back in with that yellow. And it does help blend it through because I'm not using water. These pencils work beautifully without it. I mean, they would brighten up if you wanted your colours brighter, then literally just go over with a drop of water. I'll blend that back in. Yeah, don't press too hard when you're colouring if you're shading like this. You don't want to fill the paper full of one colour. It will stop you from adding the depth and the shades that you want. Right, I need a white pencil. I haven't brought my white one over. Bear with me a second. I have lots of them. This is the Koh-i-Noor Gioconda soft pastel pencil, so I can add just a little, only a tiny little, because the pencil will hold most of that colour. Some colour to our buds. I was using watercolour pencils. Yes, this one's a pastel pencil. But yes, I have just been using watercolour pencils. little tips of light on the base of our bluebells. You don't have to do all of them, but a little bit does help. Gosh, how are we doing for time? Crikey, it goes quick. It's amazing the difference. A little bit of pencil will do. So I'm going to pop my pencils away now. Been a little time scooting away with us. I've got a Posca pen. Just for a few more little finishing touches. It's only a couple. That's where I want it a little brighter. The top of his knee and just smudge it down, that's better. Cracking. Just softens that off. And I think we'll just have a couple on the vines. That there. 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 Right. It does take a little bit of practice. So keep going and I'm sure you'll be fine. This is a quickie glue pen. And now we're getting some detail finishing touches. So I'm just adding some centres, not to all of the flowers, but some of them. Those that make sense, that aren't covered by other things and are of a decent size. But you can do as many as you like. You do you, as they say. I'm just going to dry that off just to speed up the process for us. I'm hoping we've got enough time to mat and layer so I can put the final shimmer on. But it's not a problem if we don't. I can add it anyway. Right. And in here, my glittery bit today is the Wow foils. And this one is copper. So if I move that down, you'll be able to see what it's like. And it comes in a long strip. So I just cut what I need off. You don't need much. Save the rest. Really does go a long way. And then all you need to do is white side down. So the colour you want facing up. pop it down and just rub it with your fingertip. No scratching, no scraping, just a little gentle rub. And we're going to do this all over until we've covered where we've had our glue. It's great. You get such a lovely finish. I find it really satisfying. And this piece will keep going. We'll keep going till it runs out of colour. Looks like I've missed a couple, so let's address that. If you let this dry naturally, I'll put a little more on that one. If you let it dry naturally, it takes quite a while. You can go make a cup of tea, have your dinner, forget about it for a couple of days, come back and it'll still stick, so don't panic. That's warm. Watch your fingers when you've heated it. Don't want you burning yourself. That's better. Got it all now. Yeah, we got it all. Fabulous. And then that can go back in your pot or back in your bag, and it'll continue to be useful for quite a while yet. So I always save all my bits. Always. So what time we got? 21. We got 9 minutes. 9 minutes to mat in there. So let me see where my cutting mat's gone. It's here. Yay! And I think we need to put that on a bit of, I've got some cream coloured textured card we can use, and I think that would be nice. There you go. And then hopefully, my bippity boppy's not been unpacked yet, so we'll have to use some tape, I'm afraid. There we go. Oh, sticky scissors. Good, I'm glad you learn a lot, and that's what I'm here for. If you've ever got any questions, you know, you're on these lives, just shout them out and I'll try and pick them up. Normally it takes a couple of days for the YouTube ones for me to be able to go back in. I don't know why that is, but it does. I'll try and find out, but I will try and cover off. I've just remembered something we've not done. My bad. Really bad. Gold Kuretake drop of shimmer. An extra little bit of sparkle. You see lots of people splatting their Posca pens. Well, I like to be a little more posh. We're going to have gold, and it really does make a difference. So I have mixed it up, but I am going to wipe quite a bit of that off before I start tapping that gold on. That final little bit of shine and luxury. We all need a bit of luxury on a Monday lunchtime. That's better. Just try that off. Then we can stick it down. And you can use a couple of these splats as fairy orbs if you so wish. Just make sure it's nice and dry first, and I'll quickly show you. How to do some quick, yeah, nice and dry. So I've got a fine detail brush, and this is number 2, and I've got some kitchen paper. So all you need to do is run your paintbrush around one of those dots and just lift. And it just takes off a little of that ink. We'll do that one again because it's darker down there. Leaving a little glow around a couple of those gold dots. And they get brighter as they dry. You won't lift the little dots, don't worry. Once it's dry, it's fine. So we'll have another little dot there. That's a nice one. You don't have to have too many. Just 1 or 2. Make that magic happen. There. Remembered everything now. Yay! Let's get that chopping board up. See, it does make a difference. Like Keith said rightly earlier, it's the detail, and those details come from you. They're your added. How often do I go live? I go live 3 times a week. We do a Monday lunch right here. On Wednesday, we're over on Facebook, 7:30 p.m. British summertime, on the Lavinia Stamps page, the main Lavinia Stamps page. And then on Friday evening, we're back here on YouTube. Enjoying each other's company, having some fun, and making a mess, usually. We try and make some art, but, you know, it's usually a mess. So, now that's sliding straight over that paper. So what I'm going to do with my knife first is just run that down. And it'll just lift that edge up enough, she says. Yeah, there it is. Got it. Then cut. Ah, that's better. One locked straight on. See, save all your bits card. There's a thin edge, and then if we go one more, and we'll pop on a nice dark border to finish off. Two. The Lavinia challenge you'll find on the website. So that's www.laviniastamps.com, and there is a section for the challenge. That's where you'd put your entries. You'll see them on the Lavinia Stamps page. You'll see them on Reach Out with Lavinia on Facebook, and Lavinia for You also on Facebook. And you'll see other people's entries too. That. And then we'll pop that, I think, on some navy card. That will make it pop. If I do it about there. Look at that. It does matter what colours you use, so do try a couple of different colours. Before you choose the final one. Sorry, concentrating. It's beautiful in the sun here. Cold in the wind, beautiful in the sun. Of course, what did I do? Leave my coat at Ruthyn. It's all right, we're going to sort it. There. That makes a real difference. Let me put that white paper back underneath. And hopefully you can see some of that shine if I get a little closer. There you go, twinkle. I know, Dawn, terrible, isn't it? I did think that. I'm just going to add a little more sparkle with sea foam stickles. I like your thinking, Dawn. I like your thinking. And I'm literally just going to put a little of this just in this greenery. Just to add a little spot of magic. Because you can never have too much magic, or sparkle for that matter. There. Finished. Ta-da! So hopefully you can see that sparkle in that beautiful spring garden. So I hope that's given you some inspiration towards this month's challenge. Talking of such, You can enter up to 5 pieces, I believe, and each one stands the same amount of chance as the next. Good night, Joanne. Sweet, sweet dreams. You arrived late. You said something about being able to review it all, but I don't understand. Okay, Marie, what I'm saying is if you put a question out later on, I'll be able to look through all your questions, and if I see them, I'll be able to answer them. That's all with the review. There. And don't they look different? One green and one blue. Thank you so very much for joining me later. Can you see this later on? Yes, you can. I'm going to put the link on Facebook on Reach Out with Lavinia and Lavinia for You with everything I've used, a list of the items I've used with the link so you can find them nice and easy. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. Hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday night. So do join in with the competition. You've got to be in it to win it. And £40 goes quite a way to help get those new stamps if you've not already ordered them. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy your week and thank you so much for joining me today. Take care now. Bye-bye.